So picture the classic IT nightmare. It's, 3 in the morning, the office is dark, and the server room is just humming along.
Right.
And then suddenly an AC unit dies. Or maybe a plate bursts a few floors up.
The silent guardian problem. You've
Yeah.
got all this expensive hardware just sitting there, totally vulnerable to the physical world. And by the time you realize something's up, it's usually way too late.
Exactly. And that is the exact gap we're looking at today. We are doing a deep dive on the, the NTI E-5D Medium Enterprise Environment Monitoring System.
And that name, I know it sounds super utilitarian, but this is not just some fancy thermometer you stick on the wall.
Far from it, it seems.
Oh, yeah. Think of it less like a single sensor and more like a central nervous system for these unmanned spaces. It's got a Linux inside architecture that lets it sense, analyze, and this is the key part, actually respond to threats.
Okay, that respond part is what I want to get to, but let's start with the senses. What's it looking at right out of the box?
Out of the box, you're getting internal temperature and humidity, the basics.
But for a medium enterprise, just knowing it's hot might not be enough, right? You need to know why.
That's where it gets interesting. You're not stuck with those. You can add up to 5 external configurable sensors, 5 digital inputs.
So you can start detecting other things.
Way more. We're talking liquid water presence, smoke, vibration, motion. It really starts to build a complete picture.
Wait, I saw it even supports glass break sensors. So this thing bridges the gap between environmental monitoring and, actual physical security.
It's all about total context. The story changes from, the server is hot to someone might have just broken a window.
Okay, so it's gathering all this data. But data stuck in a box at 3 a.m. doesn't help anyone. How does it get the signal out?
It speaks the right language. I mean, sure, it does the standard stuff, SMS alerts through a USB modem, voice calls.
But sysadmins don't want another app to check.
Exactly. So it sends SNMP traps directly into whatever network management software they're already using. It just shows up on their dashboard. And for email, it supports XOAUTH2, so it plays nice with secure stuff like Gmail.
The Smart Alerts feature caught my eye. That's more than just a simple, if temp is X, then alert.
It's about filtering out the noise. You can combine up to 50 events using Boolean logic, so you don't get woken up for a 1-degree change.
So you could set it to only trigger if the temperature rises and a door contact sensor is tripped.
Precisely. It validates the crisis.
Speaking of validating, what about the IP camera integration? That seems like a game changer.
Oh, it's massive. If a vibration sensor trips, the E-5D tells a connected camera to snap a picture and emails it to you. So you're not driving in blind. You can see, oh, it's just the janitor or,
No, there's actual smoke.
There's actual smoke.
Okay, so let's say there is smoke. You mentioned this thing has hands. It doesn't just watch the disaster unfold.
This is the real differentiator. It has 2 output relays, so it can physically control other devices, turn things on, turn them off. But what's really impressive is that it can send SSH commands over the network.
Hold on. You're saying it can log into a server and tell it to shut itself down?
Exactly. It shifts from just passive monitoring to active defense. If the temperature hits, say, 120 degrees, it doesn't just email you. It can start issuing soft shutdown commands to save the hardware before it melts.
Wow. Okay, that requires a lot of trust. If this box is pulling the plug, it better be more reliable than the servers it's protecting.
And the specs back that up. The mean time between failures is over 170,000 hours.
Which is, what, almost 20 years?
Almost 20 years of continuous operation. Plus, it has dual redundant power supplies and optional internal battery. It's built for it.
And I saw there were industrial options, too, for really harsh environments.
Right. For the extreme edges, we're talking operating temps from -40 all the way up to 185 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
You could stick this in an unheated shed in Alaska, and it'll just keep on working.
And since it's on the network, security must be a concern.
Of course.
But
they're using AES 256-bit encryption, IP filtering. They've made sure the watchdog itself can't become a backdoor.
it really reframes what an environment monitor is. It's not a logger anymore. It's an automated defense system.
It completely solves that silent guardian problem by basically giving the room its own brain. But it does leave us with a pretty big question.
Which is?
Well, if a system can sense a threat, verify it with a camera, and then autonomously shut down a server rack to save it, at what point does the monitoring system become the actual manager of the facility? And, are we ready to hand over that level of physical control to a script?
A little existential thought to end on. Thanks for walking us through the NTI E-5D. We'll see you on the next deep dive.